girls, it's Lookin' Bratz, aka Dom. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, what we're going to do is go over some questions that I received from people on Instagram and Twitter. And I feel awful because I probably should have asked people on YouTube first, but it totally slipped my mind and I was like, I need to film this sooner rather than later. Sorry, my laptop is unplugged. So next time I will be asking YouTube people first who wants to ask a question, and I'll take questions from YouTube people. If you still want to post a question in the comments, maybe I'll answer it in a different video, or maybe I'll just answer it in the comments. But I'm doing another Q&A because it's been over a year now since I started doing YouTube like this, like sitting in front of a camera and talking to everybody. What I did in the past is I was just using my YouTube channel as sort of like an archive for Bratz videos that weren't uploaded yet, or just like, you know, whatever, just like as a Bratz archive essentially. But it's really expanded over the past year, and I just want to thank everybody for all of the support, and thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers. I am very shocked. I grew a lot since the start of that whole thing. I think I was at like 1 point something, and to make it to 5K is just really special to me. It means a lot to me that people care enough to tune into my videos, and I'm just super grateful. Thank you so much for all of the support. And here we are, 5,000 subscribers later and a year later, and I'm gonna answer some questions. So I'm gonna go through the Instagram questions first, and I do have my laptop pulled up in front of me, so if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my laptop, and I have all the questions here. So I'm going to avoid certain questions about like future Bratz releases, just because there are some things that, like, yes, I may know some things that I just can't talk about, or there's just information I don't have, so it's like I don't even know how to answer some things. But I'll answer other questions to the best of my ability, so just putting that disclaimer out there. I am doing another video. In fact, that video is probably already out, so make sure to go check out that video about Bratz stuff for 2023 and moving forward. So looking at the first few questions, throughout the years, which year of Bratz artwork art style is your favorite? Honestly, I think I've said this before, it's definitely 2004, 2005, but like more so 2004. I love everything about it. It feels so naturally Bratz to me. Like that is like what Bratz is in my eyes. And it really shows like the height of the brand and how popular it was becoming. I love that artwork so much, like Flashback Fever. I love the Sporty Flair and the Sporty Flair and Fashion Fierce artwork. Even though, like, you know, there are some issues with it, granted, like, I don't like the whitewashing of characters, but I think the art style itself is a really beautiful art style. And there are these, I want to gatekeep them so bad, but I can't gatekeep them. It's these Primpin' Pretty Bath and Body kits that Bratz came out with in like 2005, and I love the artwork on those so much. And I really want those kits, but they're never for sale anywhere. Like, those would be like a grail item if I had to be honest. So I love that artwork, and in fact, I did a painting, and I am going to be redoing the painting just to like fix it up. And I did it, I want to say in 2017. I might have done the painting in 2017. Yes, 2017, and I really love the way it came out at the time, but there are some things I want to fix up. I was going based off the original artwork for it, of the Primpin' Pretty artwork, and the skin tones are just a little bit too off for my liking now. So I just want to go back, I want to revise it, and also just like touch up some spots, because it's been through several moves since that point, because I used to hang it up in my dorm room in college and it looked really cute there. So it's been moved in and out of my dorm, and then it got moved from my old house to my new house. So it's been through some stuff. It's actually hanging up in my closet, but it's kind of hidden by all of my clothing. So I have to like bring it out and actually like touch it up. I've been meaning to do that for like 3 years now, so don't mind me. So yeah, I love that artwork. Some of my favorite artwork. What are my goals? What are my future goals for working with the doll community. I think it's just hopefully fostering a positive community and, you know, hopefully making like a positive impact in the community. That's what I really, really want. And I just hope I feel like I do that to an extent, but I really hope to do more of that in the future. I feel like sometimes the online doll community can be so shrouded by negativity and oftentimes some negative people, but I do think in all of that there are some really amazing people, a lot of amazing community members, and I hope to keep working with people like that and to spotlight those people as much as possible. So I guess those would be goals, working with like the online doll community, if I'm explaining that correctly. Favorite Bratz doll of all time? That is a hard one. I might have to say, I don't have this doll fully. So my friend recently sent me this doll out of like their personal collection, and thank you to that person. You know who you are. Wait, what's in this bag? Oh. Sorry, so my room is like a mess right now because I am getting a new air conditioner installed, but the first one I bought, I was getting, like, I paid for like the installation and everything for somebody to come by and do it. So I bought the AC unit. My mom and I had to get it up the stairs. Then the next day, the people come to install it. It turns out the AC unit was too big for the spot it was supposed to fit in. So then I had to go return that in person at the store, get a new one. It was like a whole drama in my head. I don't know. It wasn't like dramatic, but it was just so much. Like, it was just so stressful to do. And I'm on my vacation right now. Like, these are my vacation days. So all my stuff is moved around my room to make space to like make it to my air conditioner. And I'm just like, I'm so annoyed right now because everything just feels so like disheveled. But I have a bucket here, and I think the doll might be in this bucket. Okay, she might be in this other bucket. No, she might be in the other bucket. Guys, there's so many buckets. I found her. Okay, she's a little beat up right now, and I put her on the GCDS Sasha body, but it might have to be Welcome to Fabulous Sasha. I need to get her clothing. I don't know if I'm going to give her her original clothing or give her an entirely different outfit. So facially, she's one of my favorite Bratz. Hair-wise, I love her hair. I love a good high ponytail. Her screening, it's one of the secret date screenings. Let me tell you in a minute, because of this update I'm doing on lookinbratz.com, I will be able to tell you the screening of each doll. So Sasha has the secret date Megan and Never screening. I think she looks gorgeous. She needs her lip fixed so bad. I don't know how to repaint, so hopefully I can find someone to help me out with that. And her screening is just a little slightly wonky, but I'm really grateful that my friend even considered sending her to me. She's been my profile picture on most of my socials since 2018, I think. So it's been a long time coming, like a long time coming. And I love her. I love her so much. I think she's just a gorgeous, gorgeous doll. And I can't wait to give her clothing, give her some new life. I have to do her hair, of course, because it's been like, you know, it's been through some stuff, it looks like. So yeah, I do think that would be probably my top. And I would say like my other one might be live in concert Nevra, but I don't own her. But I would love to own her at some point. Like, I would love that doll. So I'm manifesting one day I will own a live in concert Nevra, because I also think she's gorgeous. She has the high pony going on. She has that gorgeous screening, and I love her color palette, like with the pinks and everything. So yes, favorite Bratz dolls. I guess of all time, in a sense, yes. So I hope that answered that question. First Bratz doll you personally owned. Also, congrats on 5K. Thank you so much. First Bratz doll I personally owned. That is hard to track down in my head because it could go to several spots. So my aunt used to love, she still loves Bratz dolls, but she doesn't collect them the way like I collect them. But she had a first edition Yasmin in 2001. And that was like her first Bratz doll. And in a sense, like a lot of her stuff was like my stuff. So we kind of like, she would love to like play dolls with me and stuff. So I would say kind of like that, but not really, because I don't fully remember. But I guess in a sense it would have been Wild Wild West Kiana. In my head it is. but it totally like could have been another doll. Like I don't know if I owned any other Bratz dolls before that point, or at least I don't fully remember it. I remember having the McDonald's toys, so could have been the McDonald's toys. And before I got Wild Wild West Kiana, like maybe just days prior, my mom took me to Walmart and she bought me the Babies Forever Diamonds Chloe. So I also consider her kind of like my first foray into like really like my first Bratz doll collecting. I don't know what I'm saying, but I think it's somewhere between like those dolls I consider. But Wild Wild West Kiana really does hold a special place in my heart, so I was really happy that she got reproduced last year. So yeah, we're okay. Next one. What direction would you want the Bratz brand to go in the future? So I'm going to talk about that in the other video, so make sure to go check that video out about like the future of Bratz. But I have a lot of ideas of like where I would like Bratz to go, but I also think it's just like what I would like to see might not necessarily be like what the vision is for the people working on the brand or for the people for the company. So whatever I say might just be irrelevant, but whatever. I'll be happy to share my opinions in that video. Is there a dream job you would like to create for yourself in the doll community? In the doll community specifically, I guess I'm already like doing what I like wanted to do. I'm like, you know, reporting out news. I'm creating content. I would love to do more things that are like interactive. I don't know how else to answer that. Like specifically in the doll community, I don't know. I feel like I am doing that, but I would love to do like more of that. Maybe like upgrade it a little bit more, like enhance what I'm doing. And really like I would like people, I don't know if this is like a dream job per se, or if it's like a dream way of how things like I would like things to go, is like people using my website more as a resource. I know it gets used a lot as a resource, and I'm super thankful for that, and I love that people turn to the site. But I hope like in the future that people really do understand like what the website is about, and really take advantage of it, because especially with the updates, and I know y'all are probably sick and like shut up about these updates and just update it already, but it is a ton of work. I'm one person, but with these updates, I'm genuinely like so happy, and I'm so excited to like unveil really everything. So yeah, I guess I would like my website to be used more as a resource and not just being like, oh, like what's this doll? Like I want people to feel encouraged to go search for things on their own. Do you think another Bratz live action could work? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know per se. I don't know if another live action could work. I think it would have to be under weird circumstances. I would like to see if Bratz goes back into like the media aspect of things. I would like them to go into the animation first before even considering like live action stuff. I just don't think a live action at the very moment would work. And I think animation first, and then growing the brand, and then potentially trying to go for a live action. What I think is interesting right now is like Monster High has like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different types of like media going, maybe even like 5 at this point. They have the show, they have the movies, they have the animated web series, which is kind of like in the same canon as the Nickelodeon show. They have the music videos, which is like a whole other animation direction. And they also have the stage show that's about to happen. So yeah, I don't want to see that happen for Bratz quite yet, because I think that's a lot for Monster High fans potentially, and I think Bratz should keep it simple before branching off like that. I think in 2007, 2006, like when they started like, you know, really working on the live action stuff, I think it might have made sense at the time, because Bratz was really becoming a powerhouse brand, and they had the capability of doing that. But I think right now they don't have the capability of doing that, and I think they need to start off slow. But something I always joke about that I think would be hilarious would be like a gritty live action reboot, kind of like Riverdale, but like better. Like a better version of like these shows. Or like the canceled Powerpuff Girls reboot that they were going to do on the CW, or something like in that realm where it's like updated versions of these characters, where it's like Stylesville, and it's like, you know, you see all the people all the Bratz characters that you're familiar with, but in this like different take of the story. I think that would be really, really interesting. And I do think a dream of mine, like a dream of mine, would be to write a Bratz musical, like a Broadway style musical. Like that would be a dream of mine. So whether or not that dream happens one day, who knows? I'll probably do it on my own, and then if it ever happens, it would happen. But like, yeah, I think the topic of a live action is so interesting, and there are so many people who talk about like fan casting and stuff, and like who they would choose to play the roles, and I'm like, like it's interesting seeing those conversations happening, especially with the backlash I feel like people give the actual movie that came out 16 years ago. Like it's funny. 3 playline Bratz ideas. I have a lot of ideas. I don't know if I'd like to share them without getting paid. I don't know if I should keep it at that. But I do have some really cool ideas that I think I would love to see as a Bratz fan, but I don't know. I would like to, I don't know. I would want to get paid for those ideas. I'm not giving out free ideas. Not to like gatekeep my ideas, but they're my ideas. Anyways, if there's one item in your collection you'd keep, what would it be? Probably the Bratz Baby's Felicia sample, because she technically like is the only one in the world at the moment. So I would love to keep that one, because I always told myself like if I ever saw that for sale, I would buy it no matter the price, and it happened. It happened. I'm gonna do a separate video about this, because there's also been some, not controversy, but there's been some things said about this prototype recently that have irked me a little bit. So I'm going to do a separate video about that. We'll get into the Bratz Baby's Felicia another time. I've talked about it before. I talked about it in my last Q&A video, so check that one out as well. But probably the Bratz Baby's Felicia, because that's a special collector's piece. If you could have a Lookin' Bratz x Bratz collab, what would it look like? Which 2 girls? That's a good one. That's a good one. I would love to collab with Bratz, like, hey, but I don't think they would want, that wouldn't make sense because I'm not like a big name. But for some reason my mind is going to Fiona, because we haven't seen Fiona in a while. We are gonna get her in series 3, but we haven't seen Fiona, and I would love a character like I'm looking at my Bratz right now. I would love to see like a Phoebe or Kina, or I don't know, someone who's like we haven't seen in a minute. So maybe like a Phoebe or a Kina, or I'm not gonna say Dresden because I love Dresden, but y'all need to calm down with Dresden. Maybe like a Katya. I think a Katya would be really fun. Like something like a fun, like elevated like looks for Katya and Fiona, and maybe really like Bratzifying it, like making the doll super in tune with the Bratz brand, and like making it like extra Bratz. That's the vibe I would go for. I don't know. It would really depend on like what resources I'm working with, what direction the company would be looking for as well. But that's an interesting question, because Lookin' Bratz in itself is like not like a Bratz like a sub brand, because it's not under the MGA like entertainment, it's not under the company, but I don't know, I feel like it also almost functions as like a separated brand that is like the Bratz brand in a sense. I hope I'm explaining that correctly, because I'm not doing nearly as much as like what MGA is doing, but I do think it works on its own, but it's like the Bratz brand in a sense. Kind of like a sister, but maybe like twice removed. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Like a cousin. Anyways, if Bratz were to reproduce a line but upgrade it and renew it in a better way, which should it be? I'm going to say first pick, because I do have an idea for this, and I'm not sharing those ideas because I'm not getting paid. But I would say Fashion Pixies, I think, deserves the upgrade, and I think a lot of people would say that and possibly agree. If not, then Forever Diamonds, because these were such... Sorry, I keep slamming into my thing. I'm at such a different angle than usual because of everything being moved around right now. Fashion Pixies are Forever Diamonds. They do get love, but they also get a lot of flack from the community, so I would say those 2 or one of those 2. What's your absolute fave Bratz doll out of all the existing ones? Definitely, probably Welcome to Fabulous Sasha, live in concert Nevra. And I don't know what else. Like, I'm trying to think, but those are like my tops at the moment. Who in pop culture do you think influenced the original Bratz? Good question. I would like to say certain celebrities, but it's also so hard to pinpoint just because of like the era that was coming out in. But for some reason, I would like to say Destiny's Child did play a role in it. And I also feel like the Spice Girls, in a sense, played a role in like the influence of the Bratz because it's like a core group of girls and their whole thing is about like uplifting each other, which I feel like Spice Girls was very much about. But then I also feel like Destiny's Child did play a role in that as well because a lot of like the branding and stuff and a lot of the like the music, like the literal intro to the Bratz website did use a remix of Independent Women by Destiny's Child. So I would say Destiny's Child probably played somewhat of a role in it. And I would also like to say Britney Spears, most likely, because Britney was big at the time. I do think they drew inspiration from her. I would say any big female artist in the late 90s, early 2000s probably played some sort of influence in what Bratz was doing. So that would be my take on it, but I could be completely off. Who's your favorite Bratz character? Probably Sasha, because we're both Leos. She's born August 3rd, according to her certificate for her Big Babies doll, and I was born August 15th. So I feel like Sasha and I are like, we're Leos. I would understand Sasha. I feel like I relate to Sasha the most in the show and in the movies. The way that we're perceived by other people, the way that we really put ourselves out there, the way that we might get mistaken for like a control freak, but really we just want the best possible thing to happen. I would say probably Sasha. Who do you think are the core four Bratz celeb influences? That kind of goes in hand with what I had just said, but I will say now that I'm thinking about it, I do feel like Gwen Stefani. I don't know if maybe not the original Bratz, but I do think she played a big role in like the middle of the brand, like that like chunk in the middle of the 2000s. Like I feel like Gwen Stefani probably played a big role, so I would also say her. And I feel like just because like I feel like Jade would always say like Gwen Stefani's like my favorite artist, I would say like kind of like in tune with Jade a little bit, like the daring fashion, kind of going outside of the box. And I can't think of any others at the moment, but yeah, that's who I'd say. What are your thoughts on the Starred and Stylin movie? It's my absolute favorite. I also love that movie. I it's such a I'm not gonna call it a basic movie, but it's such just like a core movie to the brand in my opinion that it's like basic but fun. It's just a good time. It has good vibes to it. It's just, it's you, with the movies, they're children's movies, so I wouldn't think too hard about them. I wouldn't look too closely into them. I think it's just a fun movie. I love Starn and Stylin. I love the animation style, aside from like, some of the faults here and there, but I think overall I like the storyline, I like the message, I love it. I think it's a good movie. Thoughts on repros. How do you feel about them? I don't mind them. I don't think Bratz can last forever off repros. I think at some point they're gonna have to either stop what they're doing or they're gonna have to like come out with something new. I don't think repros can go on for eternity. My ideal world would be all new stuff, all new playline, one or two designer collaborations, and one repro line per year or per season. Any long-term goals for the site or YouTube page? The site, I just want to keep on growing it. I think it's gonna, after these updates, it's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be amazing. But I'd like to keep growing the site from there, making sure that it's still like a viable, good resource for people. And YouTube, I would love to just keep on doing what I'm doing. Maybe some more focus on like Bratstery, historical Bratz stuff. I would love to do more of that. I loved the Bratz collectibles video I did. I love the reviews I do for Bratz. I want to do like more like throwbacky stuff for Bratz, so maybe more in that direction. Your thoughts on the Bride of Chucky 2-pack by Monster High? I liked it. I did a video on it, so I definitely say check that out. I have still like some mixed feelings about them, but overall I do like them. I do think they were pricey for what you got, but hey. This is an interesting question. How do you manage the fees associated with your website? It's hard sometimes, I won't lie. So I don't like get charged anything from like companies like MGA, like they don't charge me for anything because everything is kind of like under fair use, I would say. I don't really profit off of the website. I would love to, like I'd love to make a few bucks here and there off the website, but just because everything is like kind of like copyrighted and stuff, it's hard to. The only thing that I do make money off of sometimes, and I get a very small fee because I try to price the merchandise that I make as low as possible without losing profit on my end. And even recently I did lose profit off a few things, so I was like, oh, I need to change my prices a little bit. And I feel bad because I know like people can't always like afford to get things, so it's just there as like an option, like it's whatever. I don't want people to feel like pressured to buy anything from the shop aspect of it. I just did it as like a fun thing, and I was like, there wasn't a lot of adult Bratz merch when I first conceived the idea for a lot of the merch, but then eventually now we have like a ton of like adult sized merchandise. Why did I say it like that? We have a lot of adult merch for Bratz at the moment, so I feel like mine is kind of just like, oh, it's like a fun thing. I have like fun ideas. I have a lot of more fun ideas, but I've just been waiting until I can update the site. But I'm hoping to put some more stuff into action in terms of that. In terms of like other fees, I do pay like monthly fees to like keep my domain. I keep the website up and running, and I just try to, I think YouTube's been nice because it's put a little bit extra money in my pocket. Not to be like, oh, it's like all about monetization, but it has helped a little bit, like I won't lie. And it kind of like helps with those fees. So I also have a job, so I work full time, so I have some money coming in. Any freelance work I can do, like I'll take the opportunity. I need to make money. So like it's hard. Like it's difficult to keep up financially sometimes, like in general in life. And I've been learning a lot of that the hard way recently. So it's a little hard sometimes, but I manage most of the time. Hi Dom, congrats, doll, thank you. Just wanted to ask, what's your dream job? There's like mixed answers on this. Because there's a part of me who loves to be like creative. I'm a creative at heart, I feel, and I would love to, I've always wanted to do something in like the entertainment industry. I've always wanted to go into acting. I've always wanted to explore that side of things, or like writing for like film or television. So I would love to do something up that alley. And otherwise, I would say like a dream job would possibly be working with MGA. I would love to work on the Bratz brand. I would love to do things like that, like I don't know, like brand managing or social media managing, or even like designing if I had to. Like I would love to do anything, or like consulting. I would love to work on Bratz, but I don't know if that time will ever come, so I like doing the freelance work I'm doing now, so that's nice. But those would be like my career goals long term, is just something creative, something that fulfills me creatively. I would love to do something like that. Do you have the Genie Magic collection? I have some. I have Megan right now, I believe. I used to have Katya, and I have the bottle. I do have the bottle still, but I don't have all of them. Do you have Wintertime Wonderland? At some point, through all of my thrifting, I've probably had almost all of them, but the only one I have right now, I think, is Jade. If I still have her, I don't know. She's probably buried somewhere in like a bin. But I would love to get Wintertime Wonderland because I feel like they are underrated and I would like them. So if at ever some point I get them one day, I would love to get them one day. How do you find and get a hold of such obscure, forgotten about doll lines? Honestly, first of all, like just remembering what these lines are, it's like mental memory, because like things like hotties, which are like here, I have some here, and like off the hook dolls and stuff, those are just like things that I've had in like my brain bank, my memory bank for such a long time, and it's just been like years and years of being in the doll community, being online, seeing what people have talked about, seeing what people have posted about from their personal collections, and getting a hold of them, it's difficult sometimes. Like, you gotta be like really strategic, I would say sometimes, but sometimes it just pops up and you gotta go for it. Like the off the hook dolls, for the most part, they've come up as off the hook integrity. When you search them up, if you search up off the hook, you're gonna get the ones that came out not from integrity, from like a different toy company. I forgot who did those, but I don't really care because I don't want to collect those. But off the hook, the new ones are gonna be the ones that show up when you search up off the hook doll. So you have to search up off the hook integrity to really get results on those. And sometimes, so Integrity's subsidiary brand, Playtend, which is like Pretend but Play Tend, you have to search up Playtend doll to get a hold of some of them. So it's like searching up like what's on the back of their heads, what information do they have. And for hotties, I searched up Chic Boutique doll, and I got results for hotties, like, because they say Chic Boutique on the back. Right now, you're just gonna get a lot of Chic Boutique dolls that are not hotties, but like still like beautiful dolls, I will say. But when I got my first set of hotties, I had to search up Chic Boutique dolls, and I got some results for some hotties that I took advantage of. So out of context, that sentence probably sounded crazy. Anyways, a doll line you would love to see make a comeback, but with different girls. Oh my god, there's like probably several. I would love to see Moxie Girls or Moxie Teens come back. I would love that. Or I would love Lil Bratz, even though it's like not like, it's a Bratz line, but like I would love to see Little Bratz come back and like updated. I think that would be super fun. And I would love to see My Scene, but I know that's probably never gonna happen. If it does, I will be, I don't know, I would believe anything at that point. Anything could happen. I do think at this point anything could happen with anything. Like, who knows what these companies are thinking most of the time. And I would love to, yeah, I would say like My Scene, Moxie Girls, Moxie Teens, something like along those lines. Live, which I've heard rumors about this year, could be coming back, but I don't know if they're true. But I would love to see like Live or something make a comeback and just like switch it up on everybody. Bratz makeup line launched 2 years ago. So Bratz Revolution did launch, actually, yeah, like 2 years ago now. So it's still available online if you're looking for it. It's not hard to find. I like the makeup, so go check it out. Bratz X Revolution Beauty. I don't know if anything else is coming in the future. Would be nice to see more stuff, but we'll see what happens. Favorite Bratz boys character and why? Probably Eaton, because I don't know, I've always liked his style. He's always been a little bit, he's kind of like the Jade of the group. He's a little bit more flamboyant, which makes sense if you know why. And he was my first, I think Punk's Eaton was my first Bratz Boys doll, so I do have a soft spot for that doll. I'm excited for that reproduction this year, so we'll see what happens with that, what that looks like. But I'd say probably Eaton would probably be my favorite Bratz Boys doll. What's your favorite Bratz era? 04 to 06, probably. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Top 5 Bratz dolls from your collection. Welcome to Fabulous Sasha. Baby's Felicia, possibly, just because like she's a special doll. I love, oh my god, I'm looking around. I don't know, this is such a hard question. I feel like I get asked this a lot. I love I'm gonna go by line because it's hard to choose one doll, but I love Flaunt It, I love Talkin' Bratz, and I love Live in Concert. Like, they're right behind me, they're watching me, they're telling me to say this. But yeah, I would say like those rank really high for me. I do love Girls Night Out. I do have all of them. Never mind, I have all the reproductions. I would love more Secret Date dolls. I love the Secret Date looks. I love the twins, like the first twins. Like, I think those are so good. So yeah, that's not top 5, but that's what you're gonna get. What is your top favorite OG Bratz doll? I think I said this before, so I'm gonna skip that. How did you get the Bratz Pad House Party Place thing? Ooh, that's a name. I want it. I'm so jealous. I I feel like I've talked about it before, but basically it was on eBay for a few years, but it was local pickup only. So I bought it and then I traveled like 2 hours to go get it. And the Bratz pad, it's like hard to come by sometimes depending on like where you are. But I think most of the time you gotta look like at Facebook Marketplace. And once in a blue moon, it will pop up on eBay or Mercari, but a lot of the time sellers don't want to ship it because once it's all built and put together, it's a big and bulky set and it's a lot. Like it's a lot to ship out. It's going to be heavy, so the shipping's going to be expensive. So look on like sites where you can do like local pickups like Facebook Marketplace and that kind of stuff. That's going to be your best bet. And that's all I can really offer in terms of advice because I feel like it's a miracle I even got it and it was like a grail of mine. So yeah. How do you feel about the hot mess known as the secondhand doll market? I have a lot of feelings. I'm going to do a podcast episode for Bratz line about this. So I'll link it in the description. If it's not out yet, then I'll just link Bratz line. But check that podcast out. I've been on it a few times. Love Bratz line. They just had Hayden Williams on recently. So I'm going to do a whole episode about that with Bratz line, so stay tuned for that. Do you think we're getting more Bratz dolls this year than we think? Hard to tell. Honestly, super hard to tell. I would love that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Can you show us the photo setup before and after pictures from your Flickr days? I don't know if I have before pictures of my photo setup, but I'll show like maybe some pictures here or there. My photos were very different. Even like 2 years ago, I feel like is when I really upgraded my photos and I felt confident taking photos, especially for social media. And that's when I started making a lot more original content on Instagram and all of my socials actually. So my photo setup was like drastically different. What I did is I got a light box and it's helped me out tremendously. Like it helps with all my lighting. It helps like the dolls correctly, and I've gotten extra lights to add like kind of like a photo box setup. So I'll show a picture of that if I have it around here somewhere. I don't know. You'll see if I pop it in somewhere, but yeah, my photo setup is like drastically different. What I would do before is either I would use the flash, which I don't like doing most of the time these days. Like I don't like using the flash unless it's really necessary. Though I don't remember the last time I used flash on my camera. And I used to use flash and I used to have like maybe like a little tiny ring light like this small, and I would try to like light the photo, but it looked not great in comparison to what I'm able to do now. So it's just been a matter of growth and getting new supplies and really trying to unlock the potential. But I'm really happy with where I am in terms of photography now than I was like 2 or 3 years ago. Any advice for people who want to get into more obscure doll lines? I would just say go back to what I said about the obscure doll lines and how I found them. I think it's just a matter of being patient, not giving into the reseller prices that are like hundreds of dollars. Don't do it. Not worth it. And I would say like if you're really like into it and you're willing to be patient and wait on things, then do that. Like don't try to like rush into be like, oh, I have to get this and I have to get that. Like keep looking, keep searching. It'll pop up at some point. Hopefully. That's the best advice I could give. What would you do if I was in charge of designing a new collection for Bratz? I have a lot of ideas, but I think the way to keep it simple, new bodies, new branding, overall like an enhanced Bratz. I would like to enhance the brand while keeping it true to its core mission. Thoughts on My Scene? Any specific lines that caught your attention? I do love My Scene. The only unfortunate thing is that it's hard to collect right now. Secondhand market in the pandemic was pretty good for My Scene. You could get some good dolls for like cheap prices, and I did get a few. I just don't have them out because it's kind of weird having like certain dolls out and there's only like a few of them. Whereas like my Bratz collection I can display and I have them all out because they all like make sense together. But My Scene has been a little bit more difficult to collect. I would love to collect them more one day. I think lines that really catch my attention are like, what is it, like Spring Break or something? It's like the one, I loved all their looks in that one. I like is it called Feeling Flirty? I think, I don't know. I like the ones with the smiling face mold. I don't know if that is Feeling Flirty or if it's Getting Ready or something like that. I like the FM radio ones, but those ones like look like they're super hard to find. And I love Roller Girls, one of my favorites. I love that commercial growing up. I would always see it on the TV. And I want those dolls like really badly, but they're so hard to come by at good prices. So yeah, those ones catch my attention for sure. I'm not really into Bratz, but I absolutely love your videos. They are so comforting for me. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that I could give that to another person. That makes me really happy to hear, so I'm glad. And I hope I can keep doing that. Toughest part to creating looking Bratz? That's a loaded question is what I'm going to say. But I would say the most difficult part was really tracking down certain items. Still like, okay, let me tell you what these updates recently. I gotta readjust my seat because this is like, there are dolls that I still find to this day that I've never known about, and I don't think a lot of people knew about. I would say, first of all, these, which I will be doing a separate video on, the Micro Bratz, the movie dolls. Oh, the dust that just, I need a dust in here. The dust that just flew off of this. Anyways, nobody really knows about these except if you're like in South Africa where they were selling these originally, but otherwise, it's like, I never knew about those. There are some like Bratz Kids releases that I'm finding recently, and I'm adding them to the database. There are some Bratz, which I do have some. Where did I put it? Okay, I don't know where it is right now, but there's this one Bratz release. I wish it was close. Oh, it's probably. I don't even know where I could have put it. There wasn't a lot of places to put anything around here. You know what? I think it's all the way across the room right now. But there's like this Bratz Forever Diamonds carrying case, which yes, I knew existed, but there's a version of it that comes with an extra Chloe doll. And I'm going to try to put a picture right here in between my hands to pretend like I'm holding it. And I never knew about it. And I'm like, where are these things just coming from? Like, they just come out of nowhere. So I think that's one of the tough parts, but it's also one of the most exciting parts because I love finding new things. And I think really like archiving them and categorizing them has been somewhat tough. It took a lot of research is what I'm gonna say. It took years and years of research to really compile all this information, and it's still taking like tons of research, and it's like looking like the most obscure places on the internet that I would have never thought to look at. One day I have to do like a whole video about that because creating lookinbratz.com, truly, like, I'm proud of it, but it's still such a huge work in progress. But I think just finding certain things and archiving the things and trying to like find spots for them on the website has been like the tough part. And I also think the time commitment that I had to put into creating it was also really difficult. So I think that would be my answer to that. Yeah. This is a funny one. Have you ever eaten Vegemite? I hope I said that correctly. Is there a story about it? I've not eaten Vegemite. I looked it up when I saw this question and I was like, do I ever want to try it? Maybe if I'm in Australia one day, who knows? What line do you think will get reproduced after Tokyo Go-Go? I don't think there's even a guarantee that Tokyo Go-Go is getting reproduced. So I would love to see Tokyo Go-Go get reproduced. Yes, definitely. I would say that, and possibly something like Slumber Party or Nighty Night, or I don't know what else. I'm getting tired of repros, if I'm being honest, so I don't even want to think about repros, but live in concert maybe, but I don't know if that'll even be popular enough. Have you used Bratz way back in the day before it shut down? Yes. Okay, and that's it for the Instagram side of the questions. I actually got through like pretty much all of them. So I'm on Twitter now, going on to Twitter. My first message is from Coco Bear, so thank you so much to Coco Bear. Such an amazing person, such a kind person, and congratulations to you on your recent engagement. And Coco, I'm gonna say before we get into the question, Coco's helping me with some really cool things for the website. I'm super excited. Their involvement has been like amazing, so thank you to Coco. But they said, congratulations, Spicy Binoculars, which is their attempt to give me a 2010 nickname. That is such a funny nickname. They did a whole podcast on Bratz line about like nicknames and stuff, and I thought it was funny. I have several questions for you. What do you see for the future of the brand? Such a good question. I don't even know. But check out my other video for that because I will be talking about that there. And what do you think the fan base wants from the brand at this point? I'm going to be honest, it's so hard to read people on the internet. And who's this? Sorry, I'm on like Twitter on my laptop, which I don't do often. And there was like a weird hashtag, and I was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Who is that?" What does the fan base want at this point? Sometimes I don't even know if the fan base knows what they want at this point. For me personally, I would want new stuff, maybe mixed in with the old and the designer stuff, but honestly, like, I do think fans do want to see new playline, but I think it's a matter of fans being able to be positively receptive of that, or just to be like receptive, period, because I do feel like even with like the designer collabs, I feel like a lot of the times fans have been closed off. They've been pretty judgmental towards a lot of the collabs, even when they're like amazing, amazing collabs. I do think there's been like closed mindedness, so I would like to see the fan base be a little bit more open-minded, but maybe I'm just seeing a lot of negativity on my end. Maybe there is a lot of open-mindedness, but that's what I would like to see, is just open-mindedness to the new stuff, and hopefully the fans want to see like new stuff, because I would love for there to be a push for that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense. Managing the Look and Bratz website and channel must give you a lot of work. My question is, have you ever thought of quitting or felt overwhelmed because of all that work? I don't think I ever wanted to quit. I don't think I ever could quit. That's a that's a hard, that's such a, not like a morbid question, but it's like, oh, like I don't think I could ever consider that at this point. Do I ever want to take prolonged breaks? Definitely. Have I ever taken breaks? Yes, for sure. I have to keep myself healthy, like mentally healthy. Overwhelmed almost all the time. Honestly, I think with the website itself, it's overwhelming, but I can do it at a certain pace. I think with social media, I have to really be keeping up and keeping up and keeping up, that it's become overwhelming, and it's come to a point where it's like and I've said this before, like I could put all the information out there about something and people will just ignore it and ask questions and ask me questions like I know everything and I don't know everything. So I think that's been a difficult part of it. So yeah, it does get overwhelming. I've never thought of quitting, but I do what I do to keep myself sane, and just making sure that I'm holding myself accountable to living a healthier like mental lifestyle, if I'm explaining that correctly. So yeah, just taking breaks. Sometimes I'll take longer breaks than the normal break. Sometimes I just have to ignore people because people can be, people can be people. How does it feel being the hottest and most wanted Bratz babe? That is so kind. Thank you. Out of all the Bratz characters, if all the Bratz characters were in the if all the Bratz characters were in the Hunger Games, who in capital is the victor? I don't know. I've never really seen Hunger Games, so good luck. Best of luck. Question: who would you want to see as the celebrity Bratz doll? The one that's getting produced. What do you think are some underrated, unappreciated Bratz lines that you personally really like? Talkin' Bratz. Flaunt It. I love Flaunt It. The later Bratz lines. My foot's falling asleep. Hold on. Let me just say, fall 2008 to fall 2009 catches so much crap from certain people because it's like bad hair. Yes, the hair was horrible. The hair was polypropylene. We know that. But the designs and the quality of the clothing was so top tier. From fall 2006 to spring 2008, we got a lot of cookie cutter lines. We got a lot of like the same. It was kind of boring. Like, it was fun to an extent, but it was also boring. So what is all of this? Sorry, I can't look at the hashtags right now. It's like distracting me. Sorry, I have to see what that's about. Okay, sorry. I was so distracted by by the hashtags in the corner. Anyways, so yeah, I would say like talking Bratz, whatever. The later lines, like the end of like the 2000s era, I think is extremely underrated. I think people need to pay more respect to that because that was like a fashion focus. They brought back the individuality and the flair that the brand had, you know, before the lawsuit and everything. Even during the lawsuit, like it was just, you know, I would say the aftermath of the lawsuit, because that was the aftermath of the lawsuit. But I think lines like designed by, dance crews, cowgirls, look at the Look and Bratz database, you'll see it all. I think those are some solid lines. Girls Really Rock is even a solid line. You know, like I think they brought back that Bratz flavor that was missing for a few years there. What was your first doll ever? That is so, I don't even know. Ever, like generally, I don't know. I wish I could tell you. Probably like a Disney princess doll or something. My question, congrats, thank you. My question is, what do you want to see more of in fashion dolls in general in the future? I want to see more fashion. I don't want to see... I like themed dolls, don't get me wrong. I love a good themed doll. I love a doll that has a theme to it. But I think there's been an oversaturation of that in the market. We need to see more fashion and we need to see more playability, because even like, you know, let's say a line like Rainbow High, there's a collector factor to it. I feel like those look more like a collector doll, where I feel like the playability aspect is missing. So I'd like to see more dolls like Bratz, what Bratz was at one point, to be more playable, but also having that collector vibe to it as well. Whereas I think we've been missing that a little bit. I think Rainbow High and Shadow High are great brands. I love them. Like they're some of my favorite dolls on the market, but I feel like sometimes they're missing the playability factor. If I'm explaining that correctly. I'm saying that a lot during this video, sorry. So many nice comments, but no questions. How many Bratz dolls do you own? I don't know. I've never counted. I probably will never count. If I ever do, I'll let you know. If you could design one perfect doll, what would it look like? Articulation, head size, face up, fashion. It would definitely be like a Bratz doll, honestly. And I would make it just like an enhanced Bratz doll. Like a brand new body, maybe the same head, maybe like a slightly different head. I don't know, like it depends on how I'm feeling. Fashion, definitely like what's happening right now. Like I would want the fashion to either be what is going to happen or what is currently happening. So yes. Most favorite exclusive thing you've found? I would say aside from the baby's Felicia, there's a lot of things actually. It's so hard to pinpoint like an exclusive thing that I found. Maybe like recently I posted about the cassette tapes. I think those are pretty cool. My Bratz cassette tapes, like the music ones. And I also love, there's this CD-ROM that I found years ago, and I found the Formal Funk game demo, which is uploaded on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. Search up Bratz Formal Funk game demo. And yeah, I love finding that. I think that was such a cool find. I'm sure there's other things. I have so many Bratz things. It's kind of ridiculous. I have to do like I need a whole video where I just break down every single item I have. Did you know or had a feeling that Look in Bratz, the website, would be such a big deal, not only to doll collectors, but to the Bratz brand as well? Yes and no. I think a lot of people were looking forward to it. I got a lot of support in a lot of places I did not expect. And I was really just happy about that. I think in terms of it impacting the Bratz brand, that was kind of unexpected, because when I launched the website, we were kind of in a weird rough spot with Bratz where we didn't know if they were going to do anything. It was kind of like poking a dead body and being like, hey, like wake up. So it was a weird time, I'm gonna say, like when I launched the website. It was the pandemic. I think just after I launched the website is when Bratz came back to social media. So the timing was all like kind of funny, seeing that all go down. You know what? I gotta be honest, I kind of miss that time. I feel nostalgic for that time. Not the pandemic part of it was so horrible, like horrible. But the being able to just stay in, I'm a homebody at heart. So I like staying in, but I think having the time to myself, and I really appreciate that time looking back. I just remember I was playing like GameCube games, and I was working on the website and I was, I was having a better time. I graduated from college at the time, so it was like, it was such a weird time for me, but I cherish the moments I had to myself, I guess. I gotta stop bumping into it. So yeah, I didn't realize how big it was gonna become, but I'm grateful. I'm really happy that it's grown so much, and I'm just looking forward to the future of it. And the fact that it's had such an impact on the brand itself, from what I know about, I don't know how big of an impact, but I do know that my website does get used and referenced within the company, so I'm grateful for that. I think that's really cool. Now, if I can make more money off of that, that'd be even better. Who's my favorite Monster High character? Probably at the moment Draculaura. If you asked me this question like 12 years ago, I might have said Ghoulia or something. But yeah, I would say right now Draculaura for sure. Is it just me working on Lookin' Bratz? Yes. I'm the only one who is on Lookin' Bratz. I am the only Lookin' Bratz. So yes, but also I do have some people who have been helping me with design stuff, some artwork, animation stuff, some really cool stuff. I'm really excited to be involving more people in on that part. But in terms of running the website, running the socials, it's just me, just little old me. Is there any way to get involved? Not really. It's not really like a... See, this is where it becomes hard. It's because I would love to involve more people in Lookin' Bratz, but that really is my baby. So it's hard inviting people into that world of it. But I think just supporting it was really the best way to be involved in it, and to just support it, use it. That's all I could really say about that. But yes, thank you. They said I'm such a big fan of the database. Thank you. That is so kind. Congrats. Thank you. Which doll is the first one you will take if the house is on fire? Baby's Felicia. Come on now. It has to be Baby's Felicia. But I don't want to think so morbidly. Like, that's such a morbid question, but I know it's such a harsh reality, is that some people do go through traumatic things like that. And I don't want to ever think that way, but it is on my mind. It pops up in my mind, and it worries me all the time. But definitely the Baby's Felicia. Like, that's the first one that's got to come with me. I love this question. It's very not doll related, and I love that breakup of things, but it says, congrats, Dom. Incredibly happy for you. My question for you would be, what horror tropes would you label yourself as, and the last movie you watched? Horror tropes. I would love to say like I'm the survivor, like I'm the final girl, but I don't know. I would love to be the one who like fights back like that. I would love to be that person. I don't know if I would be. Like, I don't want to ever be put in the situation. I would like to just view the situation on a screen. But yeah, hopefully one of those. If not, I could be the comic relief of it all. And last movie I watched, ironically, was Evil Dead Rise. So it was a pretty good movie, I will say. I love the Evil Dead movies. I was pretty impressed by it. I loved Alyssa Sutherland, I think is her name. She did an amazing job. Gorgeous woman, amazing actress. Yes. What got me into Bratz? It's another loaded question. But oh my goodness, I'm on an hour of filming right now, and I didn't think I was gonna be, but hey, that's what we're here for, right? But what got me into Bratz at first was, okay, the girls in my school, I always wanted to be friends with them, and I befriended them through Bratz and stuff, because they all collected Bratz. They all played with Bratz dolls at like after daycare and whatnot. And so it was like a matter of that, but then it was also, I loved the messaging behind Bratz. I loved the fact that they were all about like individuality, like owning who you are, not changing to fit other people's standards, which is kind of ironic because I got into Bratz to sort of like fit in with a group, but then I think in turn it helped me learn a lot about myself, and it helped me feel more comfortable in who I was ultimately. So I was really grateful for that. Why are you the doll Twitter? It says doll twit because it's doll Twitter. User who I'm losing my focus. Why are you the doll twit user who serves the most? And then they wrote out a word. I don't know. I guess it just comes like naturally to me. There's one person who quote tweeted this and said Charlie XCX, and I don't like the comparisons very much because I don't think, you know, she's a completely different artist from me, and I don't know if I can, you know, I'm not Charlie, you know. Anyways, my question, whatever, that's my friend making a joke. You have to take one Bratz line and erase it from history forever. Which would it be and why? You know what? I would get rid of like something that was like really unnecessary, like Sunkissed. The one where they changed the dress colors. It was just Chloe and Yasmin. I think that was so unnecessary. And possibly like one of the Passion for Fashions, like maybe one of the play sports. I just feel like at least one of those lines was completely like not needed. I'm trying to think of another one. Maybe like one that's like a high risk one. You know, I could have done without like what happened in 2008? I feel like there's something in 2008 that I'm like missing. Like definitely like a Sunkissed, I would get rid of it. Like I think it's unnecessary. Was it cute? Sure. I would get rid of like fashion designer. I don't think was really needed. The dresses are cute, but like very cookie cutter. I think hairstyle it's cute, whatever. Magic fashion nails, I'm not a huge fan of. They're cute, but like maybe not needed. Something like that. Yeah, I would go with like one of those picks. Maybe like one of the play sports. Not all of the play sports because I do like the play sports lines, but something in that realm. But I do think looking at like what I'm looking at on the database, which, hey, the lookinbratz.com database, what? Plugging it. I would say Sunkissed is like the most useless line. And like some of the fashion show lines, I will say like I don't like the evening wear collection. And swimwear's cute. Swimwear's cute. I'll keep swimwear. I think I need to do videos where I like rank each dolls by each year. But yeah, definitely in that realm of things for sure. Next question. Who is your least favorite non-core for Bratz least favorite? I don't know. I would say probably like, this is like a cop-out, but like Nadine or Shania from 2011. I think they're kind of like, they're not that cute. So I'd probably go with one of them. OMG, congrats, Dom. You deserve it. Thank you so much. So kind. What's your favorite part about being a doll collector and your least favorite part? Favorite part is getting the euphoric feeling from collecting, I guess. I love collecting. I think it just makes me happy. And, you know, I think my least favorite part might be the financial side of it. I think financially it is hard to keep up. And also, like, just in terms of, like, life, it's hard to keep up and, like, keep track of, like, what you own and, like, dust things. And I'm a cleaner. And I am obsessive compulsive, so right now, like, it's not that much dust behind me, but I want to dust it so bad, and I am going to dust it when I come back from vacation, because I am going away this weekend, so I need to come back and, like, clean and get my AC installed, which, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I would say, like, that part of it, like, keeping it in shape is my least favorite part, but also it makes me happy when I see it all in shape and, like, neat. And, yeah. The financial side of it, it's hard. It's hard to collect and have money and all of that. All right. Top 5 Bratz songs of all time. Ooh, Fashion is like my number one. I love Ooh Fashion. Better than the original, sorry to say it. Show Me What You Got, I really, really do love. Third one. Never Back Down from Genie Magic. I love that song. Make You Wanna Dance is a really good song. And Let's Get To It, I do love. I know there's more songs out there that I probably might like a little bit better, but off the top of my head, yes, those. So we talked about the celeb doll, but if you could include a character that once wasn't in a line, which line would you pick and which character? Another cop out, but I would like to see Sasha added to the princess line. And you know, I think there's a lot of lines that are missing Jade and Sasha that I think that would be nice to like include them in. So maybe like one of those. If you could think of a theme Bratz could tackle today in Playline that they haven't done before, what would it be and who would you want in it? I don't know. A theme they haven't done before? They've done a lot of themes, and I looked back at the database and I'm like, they've done a lot. I think maybe something where we've seen like them do like fashion pixies, we've seen like the genie aspect, but I would like to see them do something that is like completely fantasy, like different skin tones, like fantasy skin tones, like greens and purples, kind of like a rainbow surprise fantasy friends type deal, but with Bratz. I would love to see them do something like that, potentially with new characters. If not, I would like to see the core girls in it, and maybe some extras like Dana or Megan or something like that. So yeah, maybe like something like this really like full fantasy route type deal. Would you like a Bratzilla's comeback or a new Bratz spinoff like the Fairy Tales one? That's funny, I just said that actually. Bratzilla's comeback I think would be cute, but I'd like to see the main brand be on track first, and I'd like to see them focus on Bratz before focusing on something like a Bratzilla's reboot. New Bratz spinoff, again, I would like to see them focus on Bratz first before going into something like that. Which is my fave Laguna? I don't know. Maybe the first one. That's the only one I've really like ever had aside from G3. So I'll go with like the G1 signature Laguna. Which Bratz doll means the most to me? Definitely Wild Wild West Kiana. I do consider her like my first Bratz doll, and also the Babies Forever Diamonds Chloe, so probably those. What's my favorite knockoff doll related item in my collection? That's a I have something that I really like, but I just got it, so I can't say it's my favorite, but I'll do a separate video on it. I plan on it. And I love the not Big Babies, the Big Bratz Kids knockoff I got. I thought that was really cool. How old were you when you first got a Bratz doll? Which doll was it? I would want to say I was like 7 when I got Kiana and Chloe, so probably like 7-ish. How would you plan and design your dream Bratz relaunch? I'm like just skipping over words today. How would I plan to design a dream Bratz relaunch? No limits. I have a lot of ideas. And if there's no limits, I would go full on like Bratz. Like I want it in your face. that's all I would say. It's gonna be Bratz, and you're gonna know it's Bratz, and I want a strong brand identity attached to it. My favorite Bratz movie, probably Passion for Fashion Diamonds. I love that storyline. I think it's a fun movie. Bratz has so many deals. Bratz has so many dolls. What do you think their approach for older and younger fans of the brand should be? I would say keep designer collabs, keep one repro line a year or so to keep the older fans enticed. But I think the Bratz branding is so mixed up right now. It's so hard to like be like they need to do this or do that, because I feel like they do appeal to younger people. Like for sure, like you're putting the dolls on shelves in the doll aisle next to like Rainbow High and OMG. Yes, the kids are gonna see it. They're gonna be interested in it. Hopefully, I do think there are kids interested in Bratz, but I think they need to just kind of like neutralize what they're doing, and I would like to see a good mix of like older branding mixed with younger branding. I would say something like the current Monster High, but I feel like Monster High focuses a little bit too much on the older fans, where they need to focus a little bit more on the younger fans, where their dolls are really hitting the market. So I have opinions about that, but whatever. How do you see the core for Bratz? Who is the Jade, the Chloe, the Yasmin, and the Sasha for you? The Yasmin. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I have to look. Hold up. I don't know. That's a really good question. That's a really great question. The Sasha, maybe Welcome to Fabulous Sasha. Chloe, who would I give Chloe? You know what? I love Flaunt It. And I would like to say, like, if we could get updated Flaunt It girls, I would say those would be, like, the Bratz. I think they're just so representative of the Bratz image. So, yes. How do you know... Oh, sorry. There's so many questions on Twitter now that I'm looking at it. Are you gay? Yes. I like this question. I don't know how to answer it though. Please, oh, sorry. No, don't worry. You're not spamming me. Sorry. It says, please excuse for the spam. It's okay. You're not spamming. How do you know every Bratz information in the back of your head? How do you stay organized and keep all the info that you need? I think the website has really helped me organize that information, and I organize it on my computer and on flash drives as well. So it's all organized there. How do I keep it in the back of my head? I don't know. I really, it's just there. Like, it just feels like a muscle memory at this point that I know information about the Bratz brand. So yeah, that's an interesting question. I do like the question. I wish I could answer it a little bit better though, but I think it's just, building the website has really helped, I will say, and studying what I've been researching has helped. Watching your video, 2006 seems to be quite the nostalgic and quintessential year for your personal experiences with Bratz. What does it feel like being a kid experiencing new Bratz releases in person compared to now? I like that. So I will say it was so exciting seeing Bratz stuff on shelves for like the first time. It was such a interesting experience because, I wouldn't say I grew up with a lot of money. Buying Bratz dolls, it had to be like very much like in a limited capacity to where now I'm like, I'm an adult, I'm gonna spend my money here and there. But like at the time it was like, my mother trying to support me. She was a single mother, so shout out to my mom. But it was hard to get certain things and like, keep up. So my mindset was like, I would hyper focus on dolls that I saw on the internet, like through the Bratz website or the MGA website. And I'd be like, oh, like I want to collect that line, or I want to collect that line. I want to collect the Kids Horseback Fun line, or I want to collect the Bratz Girlfriend's Night Out line. Something like that. Like that's where my brain would be at, because there was so much happening and coming out that I really had to like set my sights on like certain items and certain dolls. So it was a very, very, I wouldn't say it was stressful, but it was kind of like my focus was shifting all over the place as a kid. So that's where that came in. But right now, I will say it's fun to see the Bratz in stores. I think the thing that ruins it for me is all of the leaks. And I'm going to get into that in that other video about the future of Bratz, but I think leaks can really be so detrimental to how a launch happens. And I really wish for once that we could just get a proper launch without leaks happening, but that's a whole other thing. But I think now, like, it would be more fun to see new Bratz on shelves rather than like reproductions on shelves. I think that would be more special. Like, I got more excited seeing the mini Bratz because it was a new product as compared to maybe the first edition repros. Like, it's fun seeing them on shelves, but there was not that same level of excitement of like, oh, it's a new release and like, it's something I'm experiencing for the first time. I think now because of social media, it's just everything is out there to the point that it's almost like not a surprise or it's not fun anymore. I hope that made sense. What is your proudest moment during the history of your channel? So in the past year, I'd say a proud moment. Honestly, I was really proud of what I did last week about what I posted. That was a difficult video to, like, it wasn't difficult to film, but it was difficult to talk about a little bit, but I was really proud of myself for speaking up about those things going on. And that was the one where I talked about like being harassed and stuff. So I was really just happy to get it off my chest. And I think overall, I've just been proud of doing YouTube. I think a lot of things had held me back in the past, but I'm glad I've put my mind to it and I've produced content and stuff that I'm proud of. So I think overall, just doing YouTube generally, like I've just been super happy about. So my favorite canceled doll line, Off the Hook by Integrity Toys. Some of my favorite Bratz fan stories. There used to be this person who did like a not blogspot, but something like that, or like a live journal. And it was like Sasha's blog. And it was like from the perspective of Sasha. And I really enjoyed that. And I think there was also one for Yasmin, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it's all just been like erased. So it's like kind of sad. But yeah, those are some of my faves. You know what? I love the show, The Fabulous Life of Bratz, that Angela Parks did back in the day. I think that was a really fun time. It was really nostalgic. I think only one episode is up right now because she deactivated her channel or put everything on private, but I loved that was a fan story technically. So yeah, I would love those. little videos on YouTube. What Bratz line would you want reproduced like Pretty and Punk, where all the 4 core girls are present when they originally weren't? No lines that I can, maybe Princess, because that's the only other line I can think of right now that didn't have like a core member in it. Otherwise, I don't know. I can't think of many that I would want reproduced without all the 4 of them in it. Maybe Wild Wild West. I'd like to see Sasha with a new design. And Jade, I'd love to see Jade in Wild Wild West. I think that would have been really cute. Something you look forward to seeing in the future for Bratz. I'm looking forward to this fall. I feel like they have a lot of cool things in the works, and I'm excited to see how that pans out. Create my own Bratz line. It would be Bratz in your face. Yes. It would be Bratz. Like, you'll know it's like it's Bratz. Opinions on Bratz boys. Do you have any favorites? I think Bratz boys are really cool. I like them. I don't have a ton of them. I would say if I had favorites, it might be like Punks Eaton and Tokyo Go-Go Dylan. I think those are really cool dolls. My thoughts on Sasha being added to Pretty and Punk. I'm really happy about it. I think it's going to be a really cool release. I think it's nice that they're looking to upgrade the lines rather than just reproduce them. It's like a fun little update so that it's not just like, oh, like I could have gotten these dolls off eBay. Like, you're getting something new. And technically that Sasha's going to be our first new Playline doll. So that's going to be fun. If Bratz came out with a new movie, what would be your dream theme? That's hard to tell right now. I would like to just see them focus on maybe rebuilding via like a web series or something. Just kind of like keeping a basic storyline, like a magazine, like, you know, the usual Bratz storyline. I think for a new movie, I'd like to see them, I don't know. I don't want it to be like fantastical. Like, I don't want it to be like fantasy, but I want it to be something that's just like a fun time. Maybe like another like a revamped Rock Angels, Pampered Pups, not Pups, Pets, Pampered Pets type movie, or like another Passion for Fashion Diamonds. Like, I love the road trip aspect of that. Just something fun that really like explores their world. Favorite musical artist is Cher. One doll that you want but don't have, live in concert, Nevra. Which Bratz character line would you like to see a reproduction of? I would like to see Tokyo Go-Go. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I would like to see that. What made me decide to start looking Bratz? This is the final question. Oh my goodness. What a fun question to end off on. What made me decide to start looking at Bratz? I think just wanting a really good resource for Bratz fans to reference, for me to use personally. I use my own website all the time. And just creating something that I think is going to hold a special place in terms of the Bratz brand legacy. I wanted to celebrate that legacy, and I wanted to create something that would be a part of it. So I'm hoping that's what I'm doing. That's the path I'm hoping that it's on. But I really, you know, I was also, there were things that I was looking for that I couldn't find, and I had to do deep research on, and I was like, I would like to create something that holds all of this information instead of it just being like word of mouth. Like, I can remember things, but as much as I remember or the next person remembers, I think there needs to be a documentation of it. And that's what I wanted Lookin' Bratz to be. But those were all the questions, and it's a long video, but I think it's warranted for this little celebration of like one year and 5K on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have more questions, leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll answer them in a different video. Maybe I'll just answer in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this Bratz content, this doll content. I think it was a fun little Q&A moment. And make sure to follow me on all socials at Lookin' Bratz, hold the G, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!